You sit down to study, even after making a schedule, cleaning your desk, and promising yourself this time will be different. What if you could focus again by doing less, not more? In this video, I'll share a 2-hour comeback routine backed by psychology and study science that helps you restart your brain when motivation is gone and your attention feels broken. Research shows your focus usually doesn't disappear all at once. It gets chipped away by task switching, unfinished thoughts, and constant tiny distractions. That's why you can stare at your notes for an hour and still feel like you did nothing. The problem is, most students try to fix this by forcing themselves to try harder, which only creates more frustration. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to reset your mind, rebuild momentum, and get through a solid study session even when your brain feels completely scattered. Let's dive in. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Your comeback does not start with studying. It starts with removing the things quietly draining your attention. The first step is a 10-minute reset of your environment. You clear your desk, put your phone out of reach, close every tab you don't need, and leave only one subject in front of you. Before your brain can focus, it needs less chaos to fight through. This works because your brain hates unfinished loops. When you switch from message to message, tab to tab, task to task, part of your attention stays stuck on the last thing. So even when you start studying, only part of your mind actually arrives. A clean environment reduces that mental leftover noise and gives your brain one clear target instead of 10 different demands. Here's how to do it. First, put your phone in another room, not face down on the desk. Second, open only the exact materials you need for the next 25 to 30 minutes. Third, write one sentence on paper. For the next block, I am only working on this. Fourth, remove visual triggers like unrelated books, random notebooks, or tabs you don't need. And avoid this common mistake. Don't spend 20 minutes making your setup look perfect. You're not decorating a study vlog. You're creating enough space to think. But that's not all. Clearing the space helps, but you still need to clear your mind. Most people don't know this, but your lack of focus is often just unprocessed mental noise, pretending to be laziness. So the next step is to empty your head and choose one win. Take 10 minutes and write down every unfinished task, worry, deadline, and random thought floating around in your mind. Homework, messages, exam anxiety, chores, guilt, all of it. Then circle one academic task that would make this session feel successful. Just one. Not 5, not everything. 1. There's a big reason this works. When your brain is holding too many open loops, it keeps bouncing between them. But once you write things down and turn one task into a clear plan, you remove a lot of internal friction. Instead of arguing with yourself about where to begin, you already know. And when you phrase it as a specific if-then action, it becomes even easier to follow through. If this timer ends, then I open page 42 and answer questions 1 to 5. That's much stronger than saying, I should probably study later. So here's the move. Set a 10-minute timer and dump everything onto paper. Then highlight the one task with the biggest payoff for today. After that, turn it into a tiny action plan. If the timer ends, then I start this exact thing. Make the target small enough to begin immediately. That part matters. A vague goal like study chemistry is too broad. A better target is complete 10 reaction flashcards or solve 5 calculus problems. If your brain knows exactly what to do, It stops wasting energy resisting the start. Now let's talk about the part that gets your brain back in motion. This next one is crucial. When your focus is weak, you do not start with a marathon. You start with a win. Your first real work block should be a short, winnable sprint. Set a timer for 25 minutes. Pick one clear task. Then work on only that task until the timer ends. No checking messages, no switching subjects, no just quickly opening another tab. One lane, one timer, one mission. This works because short work periods feel psychologically safe. They reduce overwhelm and lower the mental pressure that usually causes procrastination. When your brain hears 4 hours of study, it panics. When it hears 25 minutes, it relaxes just enough to begin. That's the secret. You're not trying to power through your whole week. You're trying to restart your momentum.
Think of it like jump-starting a dead battery. The goal of the first block is not perfection, it's re-entry. So here's how to apply it. Choose a task you can actually make progress on in 25 minutes. Set a visible timer. Work until the timer ends, even if it feels messy or imperfect. Then, mark a tiny win at the end. Finished 2 pages. Solved 3 questions. Reviewed 1 concept. That small proof matters because your brain starts to trust itself again. And here's the mistake to avoid. Don't use a timer while still multitasking. If you're jumping between your work and your phone, it's not a focus block. It's just timed distraction. Now, you might be thinking, what if I still feel distracted during the first sprint? That's normal. Don't panic. You do not need a perfect block to make progress. You just need one block where you stay in the seat, return to the task, and finish the timer. That alone is a comeback. But wait, there's more to this. After the first sprint, you need a break that restores focus instead of killing it. Here's the mistake that quietly ruins comeback sessions. You finish one good block, then reward yourself with your phone, and suddenly your brain is gone again. So instead of taking a scroll break, take a movement break. Give yourself 10 minutes to stand up, walk, stretch, splash water on your face, breathe near a window, or do a few quick exercises. Keep it simple. Keep it active. This works because physical movement wakes your brain back up. After sitting still and concentrating, your mind needs oxygen, circulation, and a reset. Even short bursts of movement can improve attention and mental energy. That's why a movement break feels refreshing, while a social media break often leaves you more scattered than before. One restores you. The other pulls you into another stream of unfinished inputs. Here's how to do it properly. The second your timer ends, leave your chair. Don't negotiate with yourself. Walk around your room, do 20 squats, take the stairs, stretch your back, drink water. Then come back before the break turns into a full escape. And please avoid the biggest trap here. Don't tell yourself, I'll just check one notification. For most students, that one notification turns into 20 minutes of disappearing into other people's lives. A digital reward is not a break if it destroys your ability to restart. This brings me to the next secret. Your second work block should be smarter, not just longer. You've already watched this far, so let me share the part that changes everything. The second block is where effort turns into actual learning. For the next 30 minutes, study actively. That means pulling information out of your brain instead of just pouring more in. Test yourself. Solve questions without looking. Teach the idea out loud. Use flashcards.
Close your notes and try to recall what you know before checking the answer. This matters because passive review feels productive, but active recall is what actually strengthens memory. When you reread notes, your brain recognizes the information and mistakes that recognition for learning. But when you try to retrieve the information from memory, you force your brain to do real work. Every successful recall is like a rep at the gym for your memory. It feels harder, but that's exactly why it works. So here's the practical way to apply it. First, hide your notes and write down everything you remember about the topic. Second, answer practice questions before checking the textbook. Third, explain the concept out loud, like you're teaching a friend who missed class. Fourth, only after that, look back and see what you got wrong. Use your mistakes as a guide for what to review next. And avoid this common mistake. Don't read a page, understand it, and assume you've learned it. Understanding in the moment is not the same as remembering later. Instead of rereading the chapter 3 times, give yourself 5 hard recall attempts. Now, you might be thinking, what happens after the second block? This is where most students either lock in the progress or lose it. The final step is quietly powerful, because a comeback routine doesn't just save today, it sets up tomorrow. For the last 35 minutes, you shut down on purpose. You review what you finished, note what's still unclear, and create tomorrow's first tiny step. Then you stop. No guilt spiral, no fake studying just to feel productive, no dragging the session longer just to say you suffered more. This works because unfinished work creates mental drag. But when you define exactly where you'll restart, your brain no longer has to waste energy figuring it out later. You lower resistance before the next session even begins. Tomorrow no longer feels like a foggy mountain. It feels like one visible step.
And that's how consistency is actually built. Not through heroic effort, but through easy re-entry. Here's how to do it. Write down 3 things you completed today. Then write 1 thing you still don't understand. After that, decide tomorrow's first action in 1 clear sentence. Open lecture slides and do question 2. Review flashcards 1 through 15. Solve the first 2 problems on page 88. Keep it obvious. Then leave your materials ready so future you can start fast. The mistake to avoid is ending your session with uncertainty. If you close your notebook thinking, I'll figure it out later, you're handing tomorrow a harder starting point than necessary. And that's the full 2-hour comeback routine. Simple, practical, and powerful when your focus feels like it vanished. Let's quickly review what we covered today. First, clear the battlefield. Second, empty your head and pick 1 win. Third, start with a short sprint. Fourth, take a movement break. Fifth, study actively with retrieval. Sixth, shut down with tomorrow planned. Remember, your focus is probably not broken. It's overloaded, distracted, and out of rhythm. That's good news, because rhythm can be rebuilt. You have everything you need to restart. 1 clean space, 1 clear task, 1 short timer, and 1 decision to begin. The only difference between feeling stuck and feeling in control is taking the first small action when your brain tells you not to. Don't wait until your deadlines become panic. Start with just the first 10-minute reset today. I promise you, a week from now, you'll thank yourself for making this routine your fallback system. If you found this helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more self-improvement study videos like this, and drop a comment telling me which part of this 2-hour comeback routine you're trying first.
And if you want to learn how to study when you have zero motivation, check out this video next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. If you want, I can also give you an even more polished version with better voiceover rhythm, shorter sentences, and more natural pauses for AI narration.